Hey everybody, welcome to the front row. We're gonna do something just a little bit different today. We're gonna do a little theme park vlogging. We'll walk around, see some stuff with me, hang out. Sound like a fun time? I think so. I mean, I'm here. You're watching. So, pretty fun. Let's go see what we could see. See what we could see, to see what we could see. I'm such an idiot. Oh. How's everybody doing out there today? In YouTube land. Shut up, Mystic Fountain is so loud. I want to go over there and just give him what for, you know what I mean?
Music to masticate by.
Do you see him? You see him talking so loudly? Just hollering so the whole world has to hear. So self-indulgent.
All right. Make sure you
know, the Lost Continent's so cool. I can't imagine it going anywhere, but I know for certain that inevitably, much like everything else at Universal, it will be on the chopping block. So I tend to try to enjoy it as much as I can. There's an entrance to Poseidon right there. Still a really cool show. It doesn't hold a candle to the old show though. The old show, the original, back in the early 2000s and 99 was fantastic. And I don't think they're ever going to be able to get a show here, at least a special effects show, that I find as mind-blowing as I found the very first time that I went into Poseidon's Fury. Still a very, very cool show. If you ever get down here and you get the opportunity, go ahead and stop in and see it. A lot of people think it's a ride, but it's not. It's just a show. But we're walking back behind Mythos right now. Try to get a construction update on Velocicoaster. I know last time I was here they still hadn't done much but put footers in the water. So let's see. Look at that, guys. Hustle and bustle. Everybody moving around, doing it. This is the most activity I have seen on this site since it started. Oh, we are moving. We are grooving. We are headed towards one fantastic roller coaster. Look, 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 look. The crane's moving, so they're doing work. They're over here doing work, yo. Oh, that guy, don't get crushed by the thing, guy. I wonder what that is. Anybody who has any construction knowledge, you tell me what they're doing right there? I know it's kind of hard to see, but they got something hanging from the crane. Looks like maybe they're trying to, it's got a hose. Well, I have no idea. I'm not a construction guy. But if anybody knows what they're doing, oh, they started the motor up, whatever that does. But if you look in the distance, over there, we've got footers. Holy moly, it is getting loud, guys. I'm gonna have to step away. But there is your Velocicoaster update for this video. Man, I can't wait for that Velocicoaster to be done. That is going to be one heck of a ride. You guys can damn near guarantee I will be here for, if not media day, probably not. I'm not important. Nobody knows me yet. But I will definitely be here opening day. Bright and squirrely. If it's anything like Hagrid's opening, I will have to be here very, very early in the morning. But it'll be worth it to be one of the first to experience the Velocicoaster. It's not too busy today, I'm surprised. It's actually fairly easy to move around. We're just now getting out of Lost Continent, and we're gonna walk into Seuss Landing, see what's going on over there. I heard that cotton candy shop right at the entrance here is closed. Let's take a peek at that. Oh no, guys. It looks like all the other vloggers and everything that I've seen, it's true. Old honkin' honkers seems to have boarded up its doors. That is a shame. No more infant-sized cones of cotton candy. I'm sure they'll probably still have a place around here where you can get it, because that was one of the coolest things in Seuss Landing, was to watch the kids walk around with their giant, them-sized cotton candy cones. Very, very cool. Wow, the music. You know, there's one thing about Universal Studios that I'm just gonna get out of the way right now. Their music, everything from the rides to walking around, it's so loud. They turn the volume on everything up to 12, and I don't understand why. In some situations it makes sense, but in most situations it just doesn't. Like if you're in the queue for Hagrid, in that very last room right before you board, the volume is up so loud that everybody in the queue has to holler at each other to hear what each other are saying. And I'm sure that when they made it, or they turned the volume up that loud, because they figured a lot of people in there would be talking and it would be hard to hear. But for the love of God, it's not, the people in the queue are not hollering because there's a lot of other people talking. You end up having to yell to the person next to you because the volume is turned so loud that you can't hear anything else. And I understand that they feel like they spent a lot of money, a lot of time on the ride, on the sounds and the effects and everything. They want you to hear them and see them, and I get that. But goodness, Universal, can we just like a touch turn down the volume around the park? It's so loud. Now, I have not been to Disney in 8 months, and I was at Epcot last time I was at Disney, and I can't recall if they also have a volume issue at Disney. If anybody is a pass holder and you know, put in the comments if Disney tends to try to blow everybody's ears out the way that Universal Studios does. Holy moly, it is loud. The old... Hold on. We'll get a better shot of it. Hold on. Bang. The old backwater bar. Right there. I believe that this backwater bar right here, across from the lemon slush stand, right after you get through port of entry, if you take a right towards Seuss Landing instead of a left towards Marvel Superhero Island, that's where you're going to find what I believe is the only full liquor, full service bar in all of Islands of Adventure. For all of you Spirit fans, for you gin and tonic or rum and coke drinkers, that's where you're going to go. A super busy day at the park, nothing crazy. Hagrid is usually my go-to to figure out how busy the rest of the park is, but as you saw from the sign, it's currently closed. It is down. Do not know what happened to it. Maybe some evil wizard came in and put some kind of hex on it. But I am fairly confident that's the Hulk going by. Holy moly. Even the rides, when they move, are loud. Nah, the Hulk's designed to be loud. I get it. Maybe, just maybe, they should get Hagrid open today. I would imagine they should. They're usually pretty good about it. After the few initial hiccups, they got much better about getting the ride back up and running, or communicating more clearly with the guests in line. That was an issue they had when they first opened. It was a communication issue Like nobody really knew what was going on or when it would open. They just say like it's closed, but they're getting much, much better about it. Really surprised by the lack of crowd today. I mean, it's not that it's dead, but I think the cold tends to scare people off. I mean, it's frigid for Central Florida. When I say frigid, I mean the last time I looked at a thermometer, which was, I don't know, maybe an hour ago, it said it's 55 degrees. So pray for us, guys. It's some of us out here freezing to death. The struggle is real. Get another cool angle of the construction. Here's another example. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there are 14 speakers pointed in every direction. But over here, it's not so loud. So Universal obviously has control of it. They obviously know when they're pumping music out too loud. But listen. That's not crazy loud. It's not like ear-splittingly loud. It's like the level of volume they should have everywhere. But we're over here because I wanted to show you guys a different angle of the construction site for Velocicoaster. Look at this. Again, I'm not really going to be able to zoom in too good because my zoom is awful. And again, I'm so sorry about the wind. I'm doing everything I can to try to block it, but man, is it windy today. It's a cool construction shot, kind of show you what the footprint's going to look like when it's all said and done. I really, really think that this is going to change the skyline of this park for the better, and I cannot wait. Holy moly, guys, I'm so sorry about that wind. Man, that's going to be solved. I promise you it's going to get solved because it annoys me. And if it annoys me, I have to fix it. So, fairly soon, it's not going to be tomorrow, but fairly soon, I will be getting a brand new camera to fix this issue that I have using my phone and get a windsock for it and everything. So hopefully the audio quality, visual quality, everything's going to be just a little bit better. Here's something else. I just saw it. Sorry. Let's back up just a little bit. This is really weird to me. There's a lot, I don't know if you can see it, there's a lot of just like Avengers stuff. And I understand that Universal Studios has the rights to the comic book versions of these characters, but it's still very odd to have two parks separated by, I don't know, 20 miles, who both kind of have theme park rights to the same character. It's really odd. Really odd. The way I like to compare it to people is imagine, just for a second, that at Disney, they announced that the new ride going into Disney Hollywood Studios is based off of Transformers. It'd be really weird, right? You'd be like, but they already have a Transformers thing at Universal Studios, but I don't know. This Universal, Disney, Marvel thing, I don't think I'm ever going to understand it. All I know is that they're here, and obviously they're allowed to be here. For how much longer? Not sure. I've heard various rumors. I'm sure anybody watching this has heard various rumors as well about what could possibly go in that spot. I've heard everything from like Shonen Jump anime to a Pokemon section to completely retheming it to their original idea, which was a DC land with two sections themed to Metropolis and Gotham. While that might be the easiest for them to do, I don't really see them changing Marvel Superhero Island into another superhero thing. But who knows? I don't decide creative things for Universal Studios, no matter how much I'd love to. But it'll be interesting after the new theme park, Epic Universe, opens to see what changes come to both the original park and here at Islands of Adventure. And speaking of the original park, we're gonna head over there right now. See what we can see. I will join you again. You can join me on the other side of the park. I will see you in just what for me will be, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. It'll feel almost instantaneous to you. Watch, I'll show you. See what I tell you, right here. We aren't quite into Universal yet, but that's only because I like to take the secret route out behind Hard Rock. You can, I guess, go the Blue Man path, but I like to go the Hard Rock path because there's a interesting piece of history back here that nobody tends to know it's here. I think it's a really important cultural piece. I think it's a very important historical piece. And we're coming up on it now. And for those of you who don't know it's here, it's perfectly okay for you to walk back here. There's nothing here that says you can't go back here. So I suggest that every single person, for no other reason than American pride and cultural intelligence and education, come to see what that, my friends, is a piece of the Berlin Wall. Very cool piece of German, American, World War II, Cold War history. Very, very cool. But the whole reason I came back this way was to show you guys that, and because I like to use the side entrance to Universal and not the front entrance, because there's never a line at all at the Blue Man Gate. So for those of you who are pass holders or perhaps are park hoppers like I tend to do back and forth all day, this is going to be the best entrance for you. And just in case you didn't believe me that there is never a line, there is never a line. We're back here down the Blue Man path. Here's the Sharp Aquos Theater for Blue Man Group, and the side, what I like to call the secret entrance. I will see you guys inside. And just like that, in less than a minute, through the gate, I am now in Universal Studios Florida, Universal Studios Orlando. They changed the name so many times. I've been in Central Florida essentially my entire life. So I've lived through the Universal Escape fiasco. I've lived through every single naming thing that could possibly have come to this park. And we today are going to go over and check if there's any movement at all at Stuntacular. I doubt there is, because it's just the facade. All the work is being done on the inside, but who knows? They could have added something new, added something different. You could tell it's cold in Florida because all of the shops have their doors closed, which is usually never the case. Usually always has the doors open, and on hot days, that's usually the best because they have their air conditioning pumping. No, Hello Kitty bucks the trend. Hello Kitty says that their doors will remain open. That's pretty cool. Hello Kitty out here being a boss. Let's see, we're crossing Hollywood Boulevard right now to check out. It does not look like anything new is over here. It doesn't look like there's any new construction or painting or anything. Still the same, just basic, not anything sign. Doesn't even, it just says that it's opening spring 2020. Hopefully that is sooner rather than later, and being a pass holder, hopefully they will give me, my family, and all the other pass holders a preview of the show before they open it to the general public. It's usually the case that they'll do a soft opening for pass holders. The only thing that makes me just a little bit nervous about it is that the pass holders never got one for Hagrid, and there was a lot of butthurt people about it, really, honestly. I wasn't necessarily butthurt about it. I wasn't that upset about it, but it was something that I've become accustomed to with Universal. They're usually very, very good about, man, the wind, guys, sorry. They're usually very, very good about giving pass holders a preview to allow the team to kind of get to know the ride system, get to know how people flow through the queue. Especially for that show, I'm hoping that they're going to do a soft open, because dress rehearsals are really important for like a live stage show, which that essentially is going to be. It's going to be a live stage show with special effects, and it's going to be a worthy replacement to T2, I think. A lot of people are going to not like it regardless of how good it is, because they were such big fans of the Terminator show. But I personally think that it's going to end up being a great show. I think a lot of people are actually going to like it. People don't like change or new. Just think about the outcry there was when like Kong closed for The Mummy, and now The Mummy is considered a modern classic of Universal. Think about, and I was one of these people, the uproar that happened when Jaws closed and Amity closed for Diagon Alley and for Escape from Gringotts. I was one of the people who was certain that that ride was not going to be good, certain that it wasn't going to be a worthy replacement. But while worthy is subjective, I do believe it's a good ride. It's a great addition to the park. Do I wish that we could have been able to keep Amity and put that somewhere else? Yeah, of course I do. But at the end of the day, change must happen. We must push forward. Just for reference, I want you guys to hear how loud this is. I'm not anywhere near, like, do you see? Did you hear that? It's ridiculous. So maybe a tip, if you got younger ones, maybe like very little, maybe bring some like noise canceling headphones or earplugs or something, because it can be very loud in here. But yeah, like I was saying, I've been coming here, not just here to Universal Studios, but to all the parks almost my entire life. I've been a theme park junkie. You name it, I'll do it. I've only got a couple of parks left on my bucket list, and I would have visited all the parks that I really needed to visit. Still want to visit Magic Mountain, California, Six Flags. You see this? Give me the hookup. Be really nice. I'd really like to visit Disneyland in Anaheim, obviously. And being a Universal fan, I've never been to Universal Studios Hollywood. I've always wanted to go to Universal Studios Hollywood. And another one, a weird one, but most coaster fans will understand where I'm coming from. Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. It's another bucket list theme park for me. And while it isn't a bucket list theme park, Dollywood is also on my list, simply because I want to ride Lightning Rod. That ride looks crazy. And if and when I ever get out to those places, you guys are definitely going to come along with me. We're going to go see some cool stuff, do some cool things, and hopefully by then I'll have a better camera that maybe even bring you guys on some rides. That'll be fun. Love to bring you guys along. Again with the loud parade music, Universal. We did it. We did it. You're proud. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today on this experimental video. I kind of like it. And tell me how you like it. I kind of enjoy just being able to chit chat with you guys and see what's going on. Definitely do more of these in the future. But I am off home to go home. So I would like to thank you all. Red Rocket is still. It's not moving. That's really weird. That ride's always working. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me on this little experimental video I have going on here. Like I said, I kind of like it. It's fun. I like sounding off to you guys. I like the weird looks that I get when I walk through the park talking to my cell phone. It's very cool. But it's time for me to go home and warm up. Maybe get a cup of hot cocoa. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, the wait is always worth it for the front row.